This is the story of how Mikel Ateta transformed Arsenal. 7th, but by 2018, it was time for the Gunners to find a new manager, one that could inspire fans and players to unite and end over a decade of disappointment. Where in his first 25 games, Arsenal lost just 3 times, a record 5 times better than the end of Wenger's era at the club. But then, things started to go downhill. Then when you combine heavy spending on underperforming players in the summer, out-of-form players being chosen week after week, players getting into fight with fans, and then a final loss to Frankfurt on the 28th of November, you can see the board had no choice but to sack the manager. And with Emery's spell in charge highlighting further issues with the lack of connection and communication with the business and football sides of the club, the board needed a feel-good manager to give them some time. Although calling Ateta nothing more than a feel-good appointment is very disrespectful. And so, in came the Spaniard to try and save Arsenal's campaign. But less than 35 minutes into his first game, Dan Gosling scored to put Bournemouth 1-0 up, where this fan then became the first Gooner to ever tweet that iconic phrase. Arteta out. One win in his opening 7 league games certainly didn't help. And by the time they'd been knocked out of the Europa League by Olympiacos in February, the phrase was far from uncommon to be heard amongst Arsenal supporters. But what happens when you doubt the capabilities of a genius? They prove you wrong. A great end to the season saw Arsenal lift the FA Cup, as star man Aubameyang signed a new deal to keep him at the Emirates. And at the other end of the pitch, the 8 clean sheets Arsenal saw in Arteta's half season at the club matched their tally from the entirety of Emery's first Premier League campaign, with it looking like progress had finally been made.